Karibuni sana to yet another episode by KKCO East Africa LLP. Karibuni.
Thank you.
My name is Liz Nderito. I'm going to be your host for today. So with me, I have two ladies and a gentleman. So I want you guys to introduce yourself and tell me, like, what do you do for KKCO? Let's go. My immediate right.
Thank you, Liz. I'm C.E.O. Margaret Karimi, Audit Manager, KKCO East Africa. What I do on a daily basis is to ensure that the audit teams are well facilitated in terms of training. They know where they are supposed to go and work at any particular time. And I'm also involved in engaging with clients with the issues that they come up on a daily basis.
Awesome. Karibu sana, Margaret.
Sante.
Thank you, Liz. My name is C.E.O. Virginia Kamau. I'm the tax manager at KKCO. I lead the team where we give tax advisory to our existing clients and also to new clients. And matters to do with tax, any disputes that they are experiencing along the tax environment.
All right, and only gentlemen on site.
Yeah, my name is C.E.O. Nimrod. Kurgat. I'm a partner at KKCO East Africa, responsible for tax matters. And my passion is mainly to ensure that tax issues are resolved in a timely manner, a cost-effective manner, and also to the advantage of our clients. So that's my role. Yeah.
Karibuni sana. So all of you, before you tell us your name, there's this thing of C.E.O. Margaret, C.E.O. Virginia. Let us know, what does that mean?
C.E.O. is a body that governs and controls the certified public accountants and also governs our firm as KKCO, what we do in areas on audits. Yeah.
So when you say C.E.O. XYZ, it means what you have, because I know there's this whole thing of I'm a CPK.
Yeah.
So you have completed, and or what does that mean?
Yes, CPA it's mainly a designation for a qualified accountant.
Qualified.
Who is allowed to practice in Kenya. So we have the professional code of conduct, ethics, which we are supposed to comply with. So the institute which regulates the profession is the Institute Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, and they are mainly the body which regulates our practice here.
So you're basically experts in your field. That's awesome.
Yes.
So I think first things first, the myth we are busting today is the fact that they say that girls are not really good in STEM, Nimrod. And it's good to know that at KKCO, among your team leaders in fields like tax and audits are ladies. So karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, our episode today is about tax. And I want us to really just have a conversation around tax. When we began our conversations with KKCO, we said that KKCO are basically, you guys offer advice, or you're the experts, right? And among the conversations that have, and I know you are aware, among the conversations that have caused a lot of buzz in our country right now, it's only when we're shooting this particular episode, it's a couple of days towards filing your returns end date or something. I know that because I keep getting
reminders.
Yes, and honestly, I haven't filed my tax. I will. But anyway, now I'd want to know, like, why do you think that's the case? Why, number one, why are people late filing taxes like me? And this is just a very random question to just start us off. Like, why do you feel like for me, as Liz, who is learned, and why am I still late? Like, why do you think that happens? Margaret, maybe you could start us off.
Okay. I think one of the reasons is procrastination,
Ah.
where you'll say, I'll file today. Today ends, you take it tomorrow. But your day of filing will never come until you find yourself on the last day. Yeah.
And in the systems that they never work.
Yes. They normally have issues of, because there is so much clogging.
Of course.
It is very slow. Yeah.
What else, Virginia? Why do you think that happens?
Maybe it could be you are not aware you are supposed to submit your returns in the due dates that you're supposed to make the submissions on.
Yeah.
Then I believe the other one is, tax filing returns. It's a complex issue.
Absolutely.
It's not. It's not a simple issue.
It's not.
So most people, they tend to leave it aside until maybe it's 1 or 2 days to the deadline.
Yeah.
When you don't have an option.
That's true.
Yeah. But it's especially if you work with the experts, you should be able to have that comfort. You can even file your tax return on 1st January. Yeah, so that you don't wait until 30th or 29th, a few hours or days to the deadline.
Yeah. So I promise you, the next time we have this conversation, I'll have filed my returns and have a whole battalion of guys who I'm sure will answer their questions. I want us to discuss what are some of the common mistakes you've observed around tax, that common mistakes that businesses, SMEs, the businesses you're interacting with, your clients, what are the common mistakes you've noticed are made around tax? And maybe Nimrod, you could kick us off.
Yes, so the common mistake which we've noticed over the years is mainly, tax laws. Tax laws, they're always complex.
Yeah.
And they're dynamic. They keep on changing every year.
Yes.
I know last year, all of us, or in 2023, you all remember the Finance Act 2023. Because it brought a lot of issues or new additional taxes, and so tax keeps on changing every year. So according to the Kenyan regulation, and I believe even in other tax or in another country, your government raises revenues mainly through tax. And one of the tool which they use to effect changes in tax laws are what we call the Finance Act. And Finance Act is normally published or released every year. And if you hear of any Finance Act or finance bill, it's mainly about additional taxes or changes in our tax regulation. So one of the common challenges which our clients have faced is there's frequent changes in our tax laws. For example, I believe you remember last year there was additional taxes on affordable housing levy.
Yes.
Which we've noted after several months of that law being effective. You can see that there's some clients who are not even aware.
Yeah.
They are yet to comply with those provisions. And so the frequency is so high, so that it's very difficult to keep track of those changes. And I believe, of course, it's not even easy for us as the experts. We need to make sure that we are well informed. And so what we do is also to ensure that we pass the information to our clients, whether they are businesses, whether they're individuals, so that they are aware of those tax changes so that they can ensure that we are all compliant.
I definitely can agree with you, and I'm sure other viewers and other Kenyans watching this, really every other day it feels like there's a whole new tax law, and it always feels complex. You really don't know where to begin with or even what to do. So I'd imagine you are not aware when or what does it mean for my business. So yeah, Virginia, what about you?
Thank you. I would say another cause of such is due to non-declaration of the income. When
What do you mean?
a person or a business is in trade, but they do not do a self-declaration. It is provided in the law that you do a self-declaration.
By self-declaration, you mean?
You declare what you have made as out of the business that you are running, or out of the employment, the amount, the income you earn from the employment.
Okay.
You do a self-declaration and you tell the revenue authority, this is what I have made at this particular period. And some do not have to declare. They do not declare such income. And so what happens later is the revenue authority comes in and does their own estimates.
Okay.
And you find there'll be inconsistency between what actually you have versus what the revenue has estimated. And so that is one another cause that would bring a dispute. And for us, what we advise and what we do on to our clients is to advise proper declaration of income. We take them through the process, how to declare, how to prepare the books, and finally how to file the returns on a timely manner and according to the law.
So Virginia, let me ask, give me an example. Like, say I have a chain of salons. By non-declaration, like how would that happen, given the example that I've given, like a chain of salons?
I would say that falls under business income. You have
business income.
Yeah, you have a chain of businesses, that is the salon. You earn income from that, and of course you have some expenses that you incur. At the end of the year, you have to prepare your books, income versus the expenses that you have incurred, and these expenses, they must be properly and exclusive incurred in generating this income. And so you'll be having a net of this income that is chargeable to tax. Then you self-declare yourself that I've made this amount of profit, and it is subject to taxes. Yeah.
I'm curious, and this is to anyone really. When we say non-declaration, is it really because the person is not aware they are supposed to be like declaring? Like, I don't know, X amount I'm supposed to declare, like, or of course there's a bit where filing nil returns, it's a running joke. Everyone is really always filing nil returns. Yeah. Is it like, what do you guys, maybe Margaret will tell me?
Most times is that the people do not want the government to actually know what they are doing because they are afraid of maybe the government will come for us, and that is why most times they file nil. But when you file nil, KRA has a responsibility and can come and ask you for your statements, bank statements, which will show that you've been having transactions. So at most times you'll find that they will come and start auditing your books. And if you had filed nil, they will give you the penalties and the interest and what you were supposed to pay if you declared your income.
Yeah. Okay. So of course the first bit is where I just do not want to declare, like, yeah. But there's also the aspect of I really don't know, right?
Yeah. And I think that's what contributes to most of the tax issues. Because people, they are not aware of their responsibilities and obligations in terms of when it comes to tax and the tax laws. So you find instead of keeping proper records so that at the end of the year you can say, this is what I made. And this is what I believe, based on the tax provision, should be paid as tax. So if people are not aware, it contributes to what she has said, and I believe that's why we normally say it's good to work with the experts so that they can advise you, especially on the filing, because it's very easy for you to even over declare, so that you pay exceeding what you're supposed to legally pay. And I think that's the difference between a business person doing himself or herself than using a professional tax. Yeah.
Okay. So there's also the problem of keeping records, like what you just said, right?
Yeah.
Like when you do not keep the right records. Virginia, maybe you could walk us through that.
Yeah, you find a trader or a business person is in trade, is in business, but they are not, they don't have any form of accounting software or accounting
the expertise.
Yeah, expertise. And you find that without having that expertise, they don't have to give the correct accounts, and you find instances where these are incomplete records. And given a chance, maybe you visit a firm that gives advisory, like KKCO. We have various advisory, the accounting advisory section, where we onboard such team, and we take them through the process of bookkeeping, from the entry to getting all the necessary transaction input in the system, the accounting system, and to the end of getting the final figures that goes to be audited, and that produce the final tax.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say in short is lack of proper accounting systems.
All right.
And maybe just to add to what she said, is I think it's not only in Kenya, even in other countries, there's what we call the burden of proof.
Oh, burden of proof, yes.
So the burden of proof is not on the tax authority. It's on the taxpayer or the businessman, the businesswoman, an individual. You are the one responsible to prove that this is the tax which is supposed to be paid. Yeah, not the other way around.
Yes.
You will not tell KRA, prove that I did not make any income this year. So that's why we emphasize on the need of proper records.
Yes.
Because without proper records, documents, it will be very difficult to succeed even in a court of law. Yeah.
There's a conversation we've had with you, Nimrod, and the other partners in our previous episode. Guys, you need to go back to that episode and watch. And I gave the example of how I needed my KRA pin when I was getting to campus, and I had to go. I walked into the sidebar and got my KRA pin, and years later, I'm getting letters and emails from KRA telling me I owe them so much money, and I don't know what VAT and all these tax obligations that I had no idea, number one, what even a tax obligation meant. So that just goes to say it really begins on the onset when you are coming up, creating your business, putting structures in your business. And I think anyway, I'd say my own observation would be a common mistake, even just from our conversation, would be it starts with how the structures that we're setting and how we are, just coming up with our businesses, and we have no idea how to go about it. We do not have systems. You think you're saving some money when you have that entry-level accountant, because you think you're saving some money, but then it ends up being so costly. What do you think is another maybe common mistakes that you've observed, Margaret?
It is where the organizations don't put records. When you do maybe the first year of audit, you don't store the records properly. And to notice that KRA normally comes and audits you, and it can go as back as 7 years.
Oh,
And when you don't
really?
have the documentation, it will be hard to prove that the transactions actually took place. So it's very good for us to put the correct records. Yeah.
All right. And now as a business, as advisors, what advice would give with such an issue?
I'd say don't risk. Ensure you have the correct business advisors, especially on matters tax, because we've seen companies closing because of tax issues, and I think even especially where we are, especially as a country or nations, government, they are facing issues on financing its budget, and they've been aggressive in tax compliance, tax audits, and I'm sure that's why almost every Kenyan nowadays is crying about tax. And so if you don't have the right people, I think I'd say you may end up even paying more than what you're supposed to pay. And the handling tax disputes, it's not an easy process. It's a legal process, and you really need to ensure that you're working with the right team, because the penalties and the interest for non-compliance, it's very costly.
So another thing that brings the issues with tax is where we have a knowledge gap.
A knowledge gap?
Yes.
All right.
As C.E.O. Nimrod had said, that the tax laws keep changing, and it is very good to have an expert who will update you on all the changes that are happening. Us at KKCO East Africa, when anything happens and changes, we normally give a circular. And when we find that it is important for us to have a webinar, we normally have free webinars where we update our clients with the information that has come up and how to change what they have been doing. Yeah.
So I'm thinking from what you're saying, really, it matters, because I'm imagining if the tax law keeps changing and I have no idea what that tax law means even for my business, it would be more beneficial to me if I'd have tax advisory from you as an expert, because you're able to help me figure out what exactly does this mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's where now the experience,
having the
tax experts to support.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's not an easy process. It requires somebody who is always up to date with the changes in our tax laws. Yeah.
I would mention another thing is that having not gotten the knowledge and what you need to do, it might lead to misclassification of the income, whereby different business people are in different industries, and different industries have different treatment of tax. You might find you are into real estate, you are into financial institutions, but there are two different treatment on the same. Yeah, because you might find there are some special entities, say like the insurance businesses, their treatment and how taxes are treated could be the same. So you find yourself, you're declaring your income as a business, and the treatment, how you arrive to your taxes, totally different from another different source of income, say real estate. So it's good to get the experts who will take you through the legal tax legal frameworks and how various sources of income are treated. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I believe the only way out to avoid all those pitfalls is mainly to ensure that you have the right person,
Yes.
and you have the right firm, you have the right experts. When it comes to lack of documents, people can keep all those records to 7+ years, so that if the tax authorities come to you, they can easily produce and support your declaration. And on the other taxes, for example, the payroll taxes, the withholding taxes, the corporate taxes, it boils down to the preparation of the books of accounts. And one of the cheapest or cost-effective way of managing that risk is outsourcing the accounting function. Because if you realize that having 10, 20 accountants versus outsourcing that function, if you do the math, you'll realize that if you outsource, you will receive the best advisory and at a very lower cost compared to having a pool of certified accountants. Yeah, that's my take. Thank you.
And I'd imagine anyway, transferring just the risk.
Yeah, the risk of the payroll issues, your medical covers for your staff, leave, and all those to a whole firm where you have an experienced team of senior partners, as a whole CFO, a whole tax manager, tax partner, and to manage that process is, I believe it's if I was on the other side, I'd basically outsource that function.
I'm curious about something. I have a question to ask you very randomly. I don't know a skill that you learned when you were young that you still use today. Margaret has leaped with joy on this question. Tell us, what's a skill you learned when you were young that you still use today? And we're not talking about mwalimu wa maths hapa ni wapi. Tell us, what's that skill?
The skill that I learned when I was young and I still use it today is budgeting. Where my dad was very strict. He would not buy anything without a budget.
Really?
So if he came home and you didn't have a budget and you wanted money, he would tell you there's no money without a budget. So you would sleep doing the budget. And it has really helped me as I've grown because I'm able to budget every coin and even my time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nice. Today, after this, you need to call him. Yeah?
Yeah.
And, the fact that you learned that, I'm still learning how to go about that.
What I've learned from my childhood is consistency, and again, getting advices or inquiry from the experienced or the people who are ahead of you. In case where you have a challenge and you would like to solve an issue, say when we were in school, you want to solve an assignment, you get assisted. Someone who is ahead of you, who has the knowledge, who has the experience on the same. So with that one, it has, I've gone to grow up with that, having that, you need to inquire much more before maybe you do something from the experienced or from some experts on the same, and you'll have your work flow.
All right. You guys are the smart kids, eh? What about you, Nimrod?
Skill
you learned when you were young.
Okay. Maybe I can talk of the patience.
Patience.
Yeah, patience.
Is that a good childhood?
Which I believe it's also applicable even today. Especially, we work on strict timelines. And sometimes you have to be patient to understand either your clients or even your fellow employee, so that you can see how you can develop them. So it's still working, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, for me, I was raised by a teacher, and she'd always say, when you speak, you look at someone in the eye and express yourself. I think I'm still using it today. So yeah, it has been an awesome conversation with you. I'm excited to see how our podcast grows and the questions that will be asked. I'm sure from this conversation around tax, it's a very, very broad conversation. But I'm sure from this conversation, we're going to get very many questions. I think just to recap, is tell our viewers, ensure that you're working with the experts. Some of these mistakes, you really do not have to make them, So I think from my end, my observation would be, tell our viewers, work with the experts. What about you guys? Recapping it, one thing that you'd tell your business owners or your clients, our viewers, around tax.
One of the things I would tell them is to ensure that they work with experts as they grow their company, and KKCO East Africa would be the best place to work with. Thank you.
So before anything, they start with you guys.
Yes.
All right. Virginia? Parting shot.
Yeah. Above all, we all looking forward to be compliant with the taxes. And for you to be able to be compliant, you need to get informed on what you need to do to be compliant. And for that, we at KKCO, we are there for you for any compliance issues. Or any challenges you're facing with the Revenue Authority, we are there to offer the solution for such challenges.
A quick one. Can you give us a rundown of the dates? Yes. What are the dates, so that the next time I am able to remember, file your returns by X time?
We have various taxes that have different dates.
Okay.
We have the income tax that the due dates are every before 30th June of the following year after the completion of the accounting period. Then we also have employment taxes, that is pay as you earn. It's filed on or before the 9th of every other month. We also have the NITA that is accompanied with the pay as you earn. It's on the 5th. We also have other statutory deductions, the NSSF and HIR. Their due dates are 9th of each and every month. We also have other taxes, withholding taxes. We have VAT. It's done on a monthly basis, and before 20th of every other month. Rental income also, it's on a monthly basis, on before 20th of every other month. We have withholdings. This is a new change that came with the Finance Act 2023. Before we had it filed on or before 20th of the following month, but now we are having it reviewed and it's filed and the payments are made on or within 5 days. Within 5 working days when you made your withholding. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you. Nimrod, parting shot.
Yeah, my parting shot is, I can say, tax is complex, and it's also certain. Let me not mention the other certain thing, but tax is certain. We all of us, we have that obligation to pay tax on what we've earned. And I believe for us to live, to eat, you need income.
Yes.
And that income which you've earned, the government, they always want a piece of that income.
Yeah.
So tax is certain. It's complex. Don't risk.
Yeah.
Work with the experts. And in any case, if you are in trouble with the tax authorities, if you have cases, if you have demand letters, please, you can reach out to us. We can see how we can help you within the tax provision to ensure that the case is resolved in a good way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Our viewers, thank you for tuning in. Please leave your comments, your questions in the comment section. Ask us. We welcome these questions. And share these conversations with your friends, okay? So till next time, keep it beyond numbers, a podcast by KKCO East Africa. Bye.